Hello, I'm Meganova, and Merry Christmas, everyone. I know it's a little bit late. I haven't been very active in December. I apologize about that. I tried to make a reaction video earlier about the last episode of Zombieland Saga, but it kept getting copyrighted, and I couldn't figure out how to not get it copyrighted. And it's like it's not just oh, we're gonna claim revenue even though I don't get revenue. It's just like, oh no, your video is just blocked everywhere. So fuck you. Okay, I guess I will be coming out with a video talking about my thoughts on the series as a whole. I'll try to get that out soon, maybe tomorrow or something. But that's something completely different. So, I found this video on Facebook just a little bit ago, and there is some things with it I want to talk about. Because there are things in it that I agree with, but also things that I disagree with. But actually, this time, it's going to be mostly me agreeing with it and just kind of discussing my thoughts on this, and we're going to get into some more hypocrisy. Wonderful, right? So, let's get into it. Oh, wait. Didn't I put the sound? Apparently it didn't. Okay. Oh, fuck. I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Eh? Mic off. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah. Just gotta make sure I actually have the sound on again. Not gonna make that mistake again. So,
I don't care who this is going to piss off. Transgender women, you're not women. You are a male that wishes that they were a female.
I mean, if you look at it just purely biologically, then yes. That is how it is, and he does get a bit more into that. I mostly agree with his video here. But the first one, it seems a bit too disrespectful, but I mean, if you want to be, like, 100% biological about it, yeah. There's not much medical science can do quite yet to change all of that. Like, yeah, sure, you can get operations and stuff done, but, you can't be given a uterus if you're born a male and want to be a female. That's just not a thing they can do yet. Maybe someday they'll find a way. Maybe if they can start researching more like gene manipulation or just generally get better at manipulating the body. But I don't know if we'll ever actually get there.
Condolences. I want everybody to be what they want to be. I'm sorry you have to get a vagina crafted out of your genitals. I'm sorry if you got picked on in high school or any type of school. You shouldn't have. I don't condone bullying. I'm sorry if you want to get pregnant, but you know that you used to be a male and you turned to a female.
Wait a sec.
You know that's physically impossible for you to get pregnant. Science isn't that good yet. Next thing I say, everybody needs to have their ears open. It is not wrong for men to deny trans women. How's that?
Yeah. And this is the main point I want to discuss. But I'm gonna let him finish. It's just 37 seconds, and then I will get more into what my thoughts are on this.
The thing. The other day, this man lady came up to me and they was trying to get at me. This can be a blessing and a curse. I politely looked her up and down, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gay. I don't roll that way. Then I heard some people say, how disrespectful was that? I looked over to them and said, bitch, how? She's whatever she wants to identify as. You have to love people for people. I'm not doing that. So I was looking at her shocked, and I looked back at the trans woman, and I asked, do you have a penis?
Yeah, but what does that matter?
What do you mean? I'll be damned if I go play with some boy pussy just because the world thinks it's the right thing to do. Fuck y'all.
So, I think we get the general gist of this. I also have a very big problem with this whole situation. And I'm on his side. So, now, hear me out before you start charging at me in the comments for being a transphobe or whatever, and that whatever I said with the whole Lily thing, and it's just me trying to pander or whatever bullshit. No! I still have full respect for transgender people, but I will also fourth take my, or whatever you want to say, I will also take my right to reject anyone who does sexual advances towards me, but I am not interested in. Me being a, at least mostly heterosexual male, like, I've done some stuff with dudes, but it's not like my main thing. It's not, it's like, it's been like, oh, we've had some group sex or whatever, there was a dude there and some stuff happened. It's not really my thing to specifically go out and try and be with dudes. So, let's just say for now that I'm just straight up a straight dude, okay? So, being a straight dude, that means I am not a big fan of the penis. If I want to have sex with someone, it must be someone with boobs and a vagina. Now, if somebody comes up to me and let's say they're post-op, or let's say halfway post-op. So they have made boobs, they have gotten like slightly more feminine features, but most of the time you can still see that they used to be a man. There's just some things that are kind of hard to get rid of, but I mean, sure, there are some that will end up passing very well. But be that as it may, not being a fan of the penis, I wouldn't want to have sex with that person. And demanding that I have sex with that person, you do know what it's called when you say somebody should have sex with someone against their will. Yeah, it's called rape. Usually, SJW types, they're not a big fan of rape. I'm not a big fan of rape. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of people are not very big fans of rape. At least not in real life. Like, sure, you can watch porn of it or whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I don't like watching it in porn either, but if that's what gets you off in porn, I won't judge. I have my own weird stuff with that, so. But, yeah, like, if you try to force me to have sex with someone I'm not interested in, that's rape. It doesn't matter if I'm a man, men can still get raped. Just as women can be rapists. And it doesn't matter if, like, I've heard so many times people be like, oh, but it doesn't happen as often, so it's not as much of a problem. No, but it is still a problem. I could also just turn it around and say, oh, but, less than 0.1% of the, less than like 0.001% of the population will get raped throughout a year. Like, That's just not how this shit works. Oh yeah, sorry. Gotta switch it over just to the webcam because it doesn't matter to have this over here. So yeah, well, actually, I could add a bit here with what I wrote on the thing. So, not even just that. Why aren't men allowed to choose our sex partners in this regard? A lot of SJWs will claim that men claim to be owed sex, but this right here is the worst example of someone actually expecting that they should get sex just because they want it. It's not transphobic to reject a trans person if they make sexual advances on you and you aren't turned on by them. I mean, just try and change the context a little bit. How would these people react if I went up to a lesbian girl and expected to get sex from her? She doesn't like the penis either, but I'm sure they would be on her side in that instance, right? This is some next level hypocrisy. Because it is. It is fucking hypocrisy. You can't have it both ways. You can't claim that men who think they're owed sex and then, take it forcefully. You can't say that's wrong if this isn't wrong either. Like, if you're actually encouraging this. Like, I get the point. I get why. It's because you want to make sure that trans people get to be able to have the experience of being the gender that they identify as. I get that. But that's just not how the world works. Yes, you might identify as a woman. You might even have gotten some surgery done. But that still doesn't mean you're entitled to my genitals. Sounds at all familiar to anyone? Nobody is owed anyone else's genitals. No matter what sex, gender, race, whatever either part happens to be. And, I guess you could then make the argument, but we feel bad for trans people because there's less people that would want to have sex with them. Yeah, just some of us just doesn't pull the right lot in life, and we end up not getting very much sex. Look at the fucking incels. But although I will admit, with a lot of the incels, it's more a case of them just... I can't even necessarily say that they're all terrible, because they're not. A lot of the problem with a lot of incels is that, well, they have low self-esteem, and then they wind up on some website where they can, or some forum where they can talk about it, and they end up, enabling each other to be even more hateful towards women, because they end up being like, but it's women. It's to women's fault we can't get any. Now, here's a fun fact. One of the main points a lot of incels will bring up is, it's because I'm ugly. Nobody wants to fuck me. I know plenty of guys who are not exactly photo models. And girls who have had plenty of sex. You know why? Because they don't bitch and moan. That is one of the biggest turn-offs for most people. Even if you don't have a lot of confidence, try to fake it. If you can learn to fake having confidence, you will most likely be able to find sexual partners. Also, sometimes you just simply have to You simply have to not. You just sometimes you don't I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. Sometimes you should just disregard having standards. Like, I know, of course, everyone wants to have sex with or everyone who's into sex. No, don't want anyone who's asexual to get mad here. Anyone who's into sex, we will, most likely want to have sex with someone we actually do find sexually attractive. Obviously. Because, probably won't work that otherwise. But sometimes you also have to realize that you can't necessarily have certain levels of standards. I mean, that's just what we have to accept sometimes. Like, I don't know if I'm a good-looking guy or whatever, but I have always just been like, well, I can't really claim to have too high standards because I don't personally think I look too great. So it's like, Then again, I'm lucky enough that I'm okay with just like I can get turned on just by personality, but we're not gonna get into my kinks right now. But yeah, but basically, don't expect sex from anyone unless they've already promised it to you. And even if they have promised it to you, if they change their mind, you should still respect that. Like, sure, you can still be mad about it. That, like, they promised you something and they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Like, it's fair if you get mad about that. That's fine. But that doesn't excuse if you end up going out and raping them. That's just not how the world works. At least that's not how the world should work. So, yeah. Just because you're trans doesn't mean you should expect that someone should have sex with you just because they pity you or whatever. The same rules apply for everyone. If somebody doesn't find you sexually attractive, don't expect them to have sex with you. Doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, any kind of trans, intersex, whatever you may happen to be, nobody is owed sex. Are we in agreement about that? I hope so. That would be nice. Okay, that is it for me for today. Shit, fuck. Sorry about that. Okay, that is one more. That is it for me for today. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas with lots of presents and good times with the family. I hope you're not in one of those situations where your family is horrible. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. And if I don't see you until then, have a good new year and take care of yourself. Don't go holding on to fireworks and shit. I want you to be able to still count to 10 once we get to January 1st. Huh? Yeah? I'm fucking old. I'm going. Bye.